Good morning, everyone. It's New Jersey Garden, and this is part 2 of my spring garden tour. And we actually have a few more poppies that opened up in this bed, so I'm going to walk around it quickly because I did go over some of the plants in this bed yesterday. But this is Princess Victoria Louise. Has a very crepe appearance. It's just so beautiful. So I'm going to walk around rather quickly in this area because I went over it in my other video. There's some more poppies. It has been raining a lot, so the poppies haven't held up that great in the rain. So I ended up in this area yesterday. This is crepe myrtle that just started leafing out. These spiky plants down here are a mixture of daylilies, and there's a lot of liatris that I had a lot of seedlings from last year, and I just sort of let them grow. So there'll be a lot of liatris this year. And then down in the front here, there's some weed barrier I have to clear out, but there's a lot of alyssum and some ageratum that's self-seeded. So it's great that I have it every year. There's a little bit of dill there as well. The purple plant is catmint. It's called Walker's Low, and I have it in a few spots. This plant here is one of my favorites. It's called Maltese cross. It will have like really bright orangey red flowers. It looks a little weedy because we just had so much rain, so I'm going to be doing a lot of weeding this weekend. This here is a plant that I really enjoy. It's actually a brown-eyed Susan. And then over here is coneflower, and I've been spraying the coneflower because the last 2 years the deer have been nibbling on it. There's a liatris right there. So this bed has a lot of liatris. It's a spiky plant. It will have sort of like lavender colored spiky blooms. This is a mint plant called calamint. I have this little tree that found itself here. I may be moving this out of this area before it gets too big. This here is a really pretty iris. I had planted irises a couple years ago, and they were like mostly purple and yellow, and I wasn't crazy about them. They didn't seem to go well with the garden, but I really love this white one. The ferny plant is yarrow. I have a lot of yarrow in this bed as well. That will bloom in a few weeks. And the pink plant that you're seeing scattered around is called soapwart. There's a little more soapwort there. It's scattered throughout this bed. This is our mailbox here, and there's a lot of soapwort at the base. And there's a clematis that just started to bloom, and the bottom leaves are kind of brown, and I'm not sure why. Getting a little shadowing, so I'm going to have to come around from the other side. So there's some browning leaves. I don't know if it's from all the rain we've had, but it seems like it's doing okay. It will be covered in these pink blooms in a few days. Here's all the buds. There's a couple just opening up now. So I'll show that when that's in full bloom. It's a good thing to have near your mailbox. It likes to climb. So I put this wooden structure here, and I kind of just tied it off attached to the mailbox. It does get windy in this area, so sometimes the clematis will flop over and I have to keep staking it. Over here I have a lot of peonies, and they're really looking a little wet just from all the rain we had last night. What I've been doing is, there's a farmer's market here, and I'm actually harvesting these peonies to sell, so I won't be able to show you a lot of the peonies that are blooming because I'm actually going to be cutting them. I cut them at the bud stage and then I put them in saran wrap and refrigerate them, and then they're good for I think up to 10 weeks in the refrigerator, but I'll be selling them in a couple weeks. I just had so many blooms that I figured I would sign up for the farmer's market this year and just see how it goes. It's on Sundays. So I have a lot of cut flowers to sell, and I just wanted to see how it goes. These peonies don't have any scent, but they're really lovely. They're very showy. They flutter in the wind. We have another catmint down here. And all that paper on the ground you see is just weed barrier that I need to cut back. We were going to install mulch. I'm not so sure yet that's happening, but the weed barrier looks really unsightly, so I need to just try to cut it out as much as I can, just so it doesn't look so exposed. We have another yarrow growing here. And some lady's mantle found its way over in this bed. I'm just looking at all these weeds. There's so many from all the rain. We've just had a rainy spring. Over here is a coreopsis. I may keep this here. I did have a problem with this coreopsis in the past where it just kind of spread itself everywhere, so I'm deciding what to do with it, if I want to keep it or not. And there's another yarrow. This yarrow is a really pretty yellow yarrow. I believe, forgetting the name now of the yarrow. I'll let you guys know the next video, but it's kind of an unusual yarrow. You don't see it that often. It is a yellow yarrow and it gets really tall. I grew it a few years ago and I had pulled it out because there were a lot of aphids on it at that time. Then I regretted it later, so I'm really glad it found its way in here this spring. And I moved a few of the seedlings, I moved over here just to kind of congregate them so they're all in one place. Here is another catmint plant. It really gets big. And over here is another coneflower. I'm really excited to see the coneflower. It got nibbled on once already by the deer, but... And then down here I have a lot of alyssum growing with some ageratum. This area gets super weedy, so I wanted to fill this area in. And if you saw any of my other videos from last fall, you could see how nicely it filled in. Now what happened over here is I used to have a lot of Jupiter's beard, and this winter was really harsh. We had a lot of days below below 0 degrees. We had a few days, in the low digits and Fahrenheit, and we ended up having several plants die, and the Jupiter's beard was one of those plants that just didn't do so well. I was surprised, but we got a couple seedlings, and I'll just be happy with what I have, but a lot of them died off in this bed. So I'll be planting some zinnias over here in the coming days. There's a bunch of yarrow in this bed as well. Here's some more peonies. This tree here, by the way, is looking really nice. It's an old dogwood tree. It's has a reddish pink color in the spring. Just a dogwood tree. So these are the peonies. This is what they look like when I harvest them. I have to harvest them in this bud stage so that they'll stay preserved in time for selling them. If I cut them when they're already opened up, then it's a little late. So you just you can cut them when they're in they call it the marshmallow stage, when they're really soft, but just opening up. They're just really beautiful flowers, and most of them have a scent. So that's it for the spring garden tour. I really hope you enjoyed it, and have a great day. Thank you.